We need to write these decimals as fractions. So first we have 0.9. Now the first digit after the decimal point is the tenths digit. So what we can do is draw a line across from the decimal point and a denominator of 10. So we have 9/10. Now we have 0.09. So this time the 9 is the second digit after the decimal point, and all of our other digits are zeros. What we can do, because we have two digits after the decimal point, and the second digit is always the hundredths digit, is draw a line across from the decimal point, and this time, because we have two digits after it, we can write a denominator of 100, so 2 zeros. So our answer is 9/100, because our 9 is in the hundredths place. Now, for 0.009, we need to remember that we have tenths, then hundredths, then thousandths. So we can draw a line across from the decimal point and write a denominator of 1,000, so 3 zeros, because we have three digits after the decimal point. So that's 9/1,000, because the 9 is in the thousandths place. Now we have 0.89. So there are two digits after the decimal point, and the second digit after the decimal point is the hundredths digit. So what we can do is draw a line across from the decimal point and write a denominator of 100. So that's 89 hundredths. Notice the answer is not 9 hundredths. That would be 0.09, but we have 0.89, and 8/10 is equivalent to 80 hundredths, so that gives us 89 hundredths, taking both digits together. Now 0.089, so we have three digits after the decimal point, and after the decimal point, the third digit is the thousandths digit. So we can draw a line across from the decimal point and write a denominator of 1,000. So that gives us 89 thousandths, because 8 hundredths is the same as 80 thousandths, and then adding that to the 9 thousandths gives us 89 thousandths. Finally, we have 0.389. There are three digits after the decimal point, so we can draw a line across from the decimal point and write a denominator of 1,000, because the third digit after the decimal point is the thousandths digit. So that gives us 389 thousandths. Now let's take a closer look at some of these questions. We saw that 0.009 is 9 thousandths, because the third digit after the decimal point is the thousandths digit, and all of our other place values show 0. But now let's take a closer look at 0.089. So we have zeros in our ones and tenths place value columns, but we have an 8 in our hundredths and a 9 in our thousandths. But 8 hundredths is the same as 80 thousandths. They're equivalent fractions, because 100 times 10 is 1,000, and when finding equivalent fractions, what we do to the denominator, we do to the numerator as well, and 8 times 10 is 80. So we can add 9 thousandths to that, and because we've got a common denominator, that stays the same in our answer, and 80 plus 9 is 89. So that's why 0.089 is 89 thousandths. Now let's take a closer look at 0.389. We have 0 in our ones, then 3 in our tenths, 8 in our hundredths, and 9 in our thousandths. But 3/10 is the same as 300 thousandths. That's because we use multiplication to find equivalent fractions. 10 times 100 is 1,000, and what we do to the denominator, we do to the numerator, and 3 times 100 is 300. Then we have 8 in our hundredths place value, but 8 hundredths is the same as 80 thousandths. That's because 100 times 10 is 1,000, and 8 times 10 is 80. So, if we add the 9 thousandths to that, we now have our fractions with a common denominator. So, the denominator stays the same, and 300 plus 80 plus 9 is 389. So that's why our answer is 389 thousandths. Let's just take one last look at this middle question. 0.089. The 8 is in our hundredths place, so we can show 8 hundredths place value counters, and the 9 is in our thousandths, so we can show 9 thousandths place value counters. But remember, we can exchange one of our hundredths for 10 thousandths, and if we do that to all of our hundredths, that gives us 89 thousandths altogether.